of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Comment to you in the audience, please, Brother Adam, give us that question to the Holy Apostle Dean and Holy Queen Mother.
I'm saying something I noticed, and sometimes in myself and in other people that I've been around, the circles I've been in, is that people, they seem to put themselves first and put Allah second.
Oh, yes, that's a general happening.
Go out to do things, or you know, they have something happen in life, positive or negative. You know, they say, I got to take care of this, or I did this, or this happened to me.
Right.
Not realizing that they got to live in that light, that the realization that A.H.A.D is the one that, you know, is carrying them through all the things, and all things are through A.H.A.D. And I see that you and Holy Queen Mother, and the way that the A.H.A.D believers should be, that we should live in that realization as you do, that Allah is the head and the guide and the real of all things,
right,
and all moments. And that's what, you know, that you're about, and what we should be about at all times, just having that realization that A.H.A.D is always the one that, you know, is manifesting things in all aspects of life. And
when Allah says that its prophets is the examples, the perfect examples, let me put that in clarity. The prophet is the perfect example for mankind. The perfect is Allah. It's A.H.A.D. El. It is the only perfect thing. It's the perfect. We are owned by the perfect. So we are the perfect example. Now, what is our example? Our example may not be manifested to you in your understanding because of what you see. Because you may not understand what you see. It's like the story of Moses and Kedar. When Moses was trying to follow Kedar, he couldn't understand what he seen Kedar do. So Moses wasn't following Kedar. He was fighting Kedar. And he was fighting his actions. But Moses learned by his own experience in becoming a messenger prophet, becoming a prophet of Allah, that what he needed to follow of Kedar was his mindset. See, the following and the perfect example is the mindset, the way we relate to our Allah, the Lord El. The way we respond, the way we are directed, the way we are commanded, the way we are in total, complete submission to it. Now, if you look at that, then you won't judge my actions. Instead of judging my actions, you might have a question about them for your direction. But because you can't follow, or you don't understand and what following my way really is, or following Prophet Muhammad's way really is, you don't understand the action. You may put a judgment to the action, and then you follow a wrong judgment.
You know, you said that, and that is so, you know, it couldn't have been better said, because that is so true, and that's how people lose their way. Like the people say they follow the way of Prophet Muhammad. Well, my Prophet Muhammad, mine is in Quran, you know, but they follow the outward, what was presented to them by someone else's story of his outward actions, which was the lesser. You know, it was, and like you said, is for you, not like Moses. He questioned. He like had a troubled heart with Kedar and the things that he was doing. Right. Instead of questioning the direction, he questioned the action, and that is so true. Because one thing about Holy Apostle that he never. I mean, he has a lot of children, and raising our children. It was a couple things that he said to them from the time they were small. And I was like, I didn't understand. I just looked and waited and was patient to see how Allah would cause things to unfold. And one of the things he told his children, because he used to get his children together and sit down and talk with them. I thought a couple of things was funny, but one of the things was he always told them, I don't want you to live to be afraid of me. I don't want you to fear no one other than the law. And, you know, and one time one of our children said, well, Daddy, you know I'm not afraid of you. And everybody stopped, like, stopped on the dime, like, Dad want to get him. And he said, fine, son. He said, but you're going to respect me. He said, I know that, Daddy. You know, and I was like, okay, he's going to rear his children not to be afraid of him. How he's going to do this? But my children is all grown now, and they never feared him. But they respect him to the utmost. They honor him to the utmost. As much as they can, they recognize him as being the man, you know, the God. And they did it in peace. You understand? Which brought them a balance, you know, where they can interact with people and nobody can make them blink. You understand? So that played out. And so it's different things that he has given us from A.H.A.D in regards to the direction. Just like you said, he tells us, know that everything is from A.H.A.D. If you could accept that, then you could be at peace. It's when you don't accept that you find yourself without the peace. Because A.H.A.D is the peace. And you know, we try, like you said, we always try to get in. And even though that seems small, if you take it, that is large. But if you could come to the full understanding of it and then live in it, you will see that it take you from here to eternity in this life, because it's like the key. A.H.A.D is the cause and effect of all things. There's nothing outside of it. There's nothing in charge of it, and can't nothing happen, can't nothing go down unless A.H.A.D will it to be, whether you like it or not. You know? And so it is the direction that they give us that is the key, not the action. Because actions you could get confused by.
We talk about directions, and I had wanted to get back to that, what we were talking about in the previous segment of the show, the Qibla, the direction of prayer. The direction of prayer of this day's time, which is representative of us believing the reality of you, Lord Holy Apostle Dean, of this, your reality with the reality of Allah. And we were talking about it before, and you was thinking about that was the same trial. And although that was the same trial to the Muslims of the past time, or the followers of Muhammad of the past time, they were tried with the reality of Muhammad representing Allah at that time, and to turn in the direction that was called, to certify them as being representative of turning with Muhammad and the reality of Allah this day. Right. This is the same trial that we say for all those who, whether they believe or not. And there are many that don't believe and are not prepared. As you pointed out, they're not prepared to turn from the ways of their fathers before, to turn from the ways of their disciplines before, and recognize that the Lord A.H.A.D, Allah, that Lord of multitudinous names, is real in this day and in previous times.
And that was the thing what I was saying with the children. He never directed his children to him. He didn't have to. He directed his children to A.H.A.D. And then them following that direction, he didn't have to inflict fear. You understand? It's all about the direction that you go in. You know, just like it may seem simple to the sister that A.H.A.D has asked us to change the way we wear our headpiece. And she's probably saying to herself, oh, what do it matter? A.H.A.D ain't got time to care about how I wear my headpiece, this, that, and the other. It's not that.
Well, that's the same argument that people say,
it's not that.
A.H.A.D told the women in Muhammad's time to simply pull the belt or the strap on their cloak in a manner that it would be show the difference between them and the Hebrews, the Jews of that time. You understand? And some people might say, well, you know, what's the deal with the headpiece? That's simple. Well, what was the deal with the pulling of the overgarments?
Now,
You know,
the
Wardrobe
whole
adjustment.
thing is,
wardrobe adjustment.
right. The whole thing
Show
is what
something,
people
yeah.
fail to
No.
realize is that Aisha said, "Don't say you believe and think that you will not be
Be
tried."
right? You be tried with the simplest of things.
Now you be tried with the simple, like you said, the simplest of things. Now, how about if Aisha caused a water breakout and it decided that it would save those? Make sure that the enemies do not touch the sisters that had their headpiece draped a certain way,
Right.
and you got yours draped the wrong way, and your head get cut off. Then you be like, "Whoa, I wish I would have followed that direction." But even if that do not come about, how hard is it for you to follow that direction? That's the devil.
If you
The
truly
devil,
believe.
the devil in you
Mm-hmm.
that wants to deny Aisha.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's why directions is very important. They sitting down. Allah send down its direction for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? It's many reasons, but the reasoning shouldn't matter. The thing is, if you believe that blind faith should take a part of you following those directions.
You know, Aisha says that the messenger is set down as a trial for man. The prophets will be a trial. I know I'm a great trial for people. And when I'm out in the world, you know, I mean, like I begged Allah and I monitored myself to follow the instructions that it gave me to calm myself down. That the fight was just about over with most of the people in this region, in the Newark and New York area, because I spent so many years with people wanting to battle me before they really listened to me, before they could hear me out. They want to fight. You know, astaghfirullah, you dissing Muhammad, you this, that, and the other, you know, that's not right, you're a hypocrite, you're a disbeliever, you know, you deluded, so forth and so on. And recently, in the past couple of years, I've had to calm down because I said, wait a minute, they're not fighting anymore. Evidently, they've been saturated with the truth. They've been drowned with the truth. All these things that Aisha have sent down through Gabriel to me and I've delivered, they must have gone and investigated and find that I'm true. But they can't come to me with honor and say, we found you true. You know, so forgive us. They quietly stop warring and they're listening now and looking further. But they will get so much more further if they would only help. If they would only come and help. Because I got so much that they haven't even heard. So much that I can't even say. I've written it down, but I can't say it all. You know, in terms of the covenant and instructions, it's just, Aisha's put everything together for them. But when I'm out in the world, I don't, you know, I'm just the same as I've always been. Basically. I'm not aggressive. I'm not going out there to harm anybody. I'm not going out there to fight anybody. But, you know, I got the heart of a warrior. You know? And I'm not backing down from anyone. You know? And I stand on this truth, the foundation of this truth. And I've known for over 30 years of my enlightenment that nothing and no one could defeat this truth that Aisha has given me directly. You know? And I stand on that in the face of all the people who say he was deluded. He's deluded. Well, they're not there now. You know, because nobody wants to be a fool. No one wants to appear to be a fool. No one wants to appear to be stupid or ignorant. So in their studies, they say, whoa, I understand what he's saying. I've been wrong. All right, let me just back up. You see? Now, if Aisha, Allah, give us a great victory, and then a great gathering coming and join in that victory, some of these same people will say, I was with you all the time. I was with you all the time. And some of their brothers and sisters will know they were lying, but they won't say anything because they'll be saying, yeah, we were with them all the time. You know? When in fact, I've been alone until I got my partner here 25 years ago. You know? And then it's been a battle. But you know, there was a time when I had a group of brothers who thought they had to protect me. Allah put a trial on them. Okay, protect the messenger. And they were showing that they couldn't protect me. They weren't skilled. They weren't mindful enough. They weren't courageous enough. You feel what I'm saying? It's just like the Jungle Book. Everybody trying to protect Mufasa.
No, the Jungle Book.
Is that the Jungle Book? Mufasa with the
Lion King.
Lion King, same thing. all the people who was once kids know.
Oh, the wait a minute now. The Lion King came out when we had kids.
Lion King was an offshoot of the Jungle Book.
No, wasn't.
No, Jungle Book was with the tiger. Yeah.
Tiger.
Okay.
Let me just say this here. He loved Disney.
No, I don't love Disney. Disney is a devil.
No, he don't love Disney.
I love cartoons.
He loves cartoons. People probably like Lion King. They probably like, I stopped after the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I just realized the Wizard of Oz. I was thinking about the Wizard of Oz the other day, you know? And you remember the monsters in the Wizard of Oz? They were marching. Ooh.
Right. I remember the witches.
Yeah, they need to give them some milk. They were talking about Oreo.
I remember it had a nice tune.
They ain't had no cookies, man. It's Oreo. Need to give them some milk and some Oreos, man.
See what I'm saying now? Some people be like, he can't be the prophet of Allah.
Hey.
What he doing watching something like that?
He's the prophet of his day and this time and this day. In light of all of this, there's one aspect of your reality, Lord Holy Apostle Dean, and that you being the messenger of this day, there's a significance to this day. Mm-hmm. This is the day of the apocalypse. This is the prophesied day, and this is not a concern of just Muslims, but it's a concern of everybody, Christian.
And let's get this thing about Muslims straight. Muslim is that which surrenders to Allah, and it's about everything surrendering to Allah.
Right.
You know.
So.
But what you're talking about is the organizational people who call themselves Muslims.
Followers of Muhammad.
Yeah.
Right. Believe that they're followers of the way of Muhammad. This is those who believe that they're followers in the way of Jesus as well.
Yeah.
And Moses as well.
But you know, they fight, they got a way of fighting everybody and everything. They never come straight up at you unless it's one of those, one of them over Jesus guys, you know, who be wanting to yell at you, Jesus is Lord, you know, and those people who call themselves preachers, but they mispreach when they get you in their house of worship, like in a funeral, and then they use you as a target, you know. Forget about why you're there. They use their religion as a weapon, you know, and they try to Jesus you to death.
You know, mentioning Jesus, people, a lot of people have the misunderstanding about Islam, and they believe that
Muslims don't believe in Jesus, and that's false.
That is so false. And I was reading in the Quran this morning, and I laughed because my daughter had a conversation with me in regards to a non-Muslim telling her that she don't believe in Jesus, telling her about how she's supposed to be practicing Islam. I always find them type of people to be hilarious. But I was reading, and also Allah is so clear. It said, you said, I take unto myself a son. Mm-hmm. And then you call him God. Mm-hmm. You know, how could something that is created be a God? You know, how could something that, and I said, it's so simple. Like something that's created just like we are all created, how that one something can have the power of the heavens and earth. Know the secret and know all that is in between the two. Right. And I said, what they fail to understand is that A.H.A.D tells you so clearly that it is the only thing that you should have concern with. That's right. Mm-hmm. The only thing.
Yeah. It's like people, especially, I mean, I don't mean to talk about people of different religions, but like with Christians, they get their faith from their parents, and they're so fearful of their parents that they do what their parents did before them, and what their parents did before them, they deny and they ignore the stuff that they find, it doesn't make sense or that doesn't sound right to them in the Bible, and they just go off of, oh, well, this is what my mom believed, this is what my father taught me, this is what I learned in church, and they stick with it throughout their whole lives, and so they have children, they teach their children the same thing, and it goes on and on.
But you know what? The same thing happens with the Muslims who are misbelievers or disbelievers or misguided people, and they teach their children the same way, and their children be afraid to change. See, the Lord said it was going to try us in this Eden, this garden. And we're still, they try to act like the Garden of Eden don't exist anymore. Like, oh, that was during the time of Adam and Eve. Okay, if Adam and Eve was on this earth, then where's the Garden of Eden? Where did it go? This is the Garden of Eden. This is Eden. And we're trying. The snake is still down here. And we can eat of all the fruits of the world. Except that fruit of evil. That tree of good and evil, that tree of knowledge. What is that about? Trying to experience things that we need not to experience. Trying to concerning ourselves with things we need not concern ourselves with. Living in our passions and our physical desires, and placing those above the spirituality of the unseen. You feel me? So that thing holds true for all people of all religions. They refuse to, like you said yourself in the beginning, they put themselves before Allah, before El. They make themselves so-called gods. You see? But see, anything could be a god in the terminology of what people think gods is. But nothing can be El. Nothing can be the Allah. The Allah. Nothing could be that. But that unknown thing. That unconquerable thing. That eternal, infinite mind. And it's above and beyond all creations. So if it's above and beyond all creation, how do it give birth? How do it beget a creation? It don't beget no creation. It creates the creations. It creates it by the thought forms of its mind. The power of its mind is what creates creation. So do we believe in Jesus as Muslims? No, we don't believe in Jesus. Do we believe in Muhammad? No, we don't believe in Muhammad. They are men. We believe in what they believed in. We believe in El. We believe in the Allah. A.H.A.D. We believe in that thing. Not in those men. Those men were fragile. Those men belonged to the perfect. They weren't perfect. They were made perfect for their duties, but they weren't perfect for everything of eternity, because they did not encompass eternity. They could not encompass eternity. You see? Therefore, they could not be perfect. They were part. Perfect is whole. They were part. They were part of something. They were part of the holy. They were part of the whole.
And in raising children and keeping this line of things going, what happens is people become possessive. People have children, they want to possess their children.
Yeah.
They want to direct their children from themselves.
Some people think they own their children.
Right, from themselves. And, I believe that, if your child is not coming to you looking for answers, then your child is either not looking for answers in life, or they're going about their own thing.
A.H.A.D said it's so simple and so clear. When it said to Noah, when he lamented about his son not coming, A.H.A.D lifted him up in spirit and said, he is not your son. They said to Jesus, Jesus, your mother is out there trying to get you. Jesus was in a meeting. Jesus said, she is not my mother. See, now, when Jesus says she is not my mother, the Lord El was speaking through Jesus. That wasn't Jesus talking. When A.H.A.D said to Noah, he is not your son, A.H.A.D was claiming ownership of Noah's son. He's not yours, he belongs to me. So everything belongs to El. And if you have a child that's been born through you, and they're not of you, they're not listening to you, they're going in a different direction, they're not yours. I have children that I don't claim. My older children, I do not claim them in my heart no more. Because they are not of me. They are of something else. Are they my offspring? Yes. Do I own them? No. Are they of my way? No. Are we connected in the world? No. We're connected by our soul, maybe, by our spirit, maybe. Because spiritually we're not really not connected. But soulfully, they came through me. Now, of the mind, they're nothing to me. Their mindset is nothing like my mindset. Their understanding of life is nothing like my understanding of life. Their choosing of life is opposite and opposing to my choosing of life. So how can they be of my being? You see?
You pointed out to us that the followers back in the earlier segment, that the followers of Muhammad were not the followers of his costume or his outward way, but the followers of his mind.
Some of
his
them.
Mindset.
Few of them. You gotta remember, Muhammad had a few followers. Many in his organization. Many in his gathering after he came from A.H.A.D, Medina. Many. But few who truly was of him in his way. People came back to Mecca with him for all kinds of reasons. And people fought them wars to get that booty and everything else.
The riches, yeah.
The riches, yes.
Yes.
It wasn't to get to A.H.A.D. That's why when Prophet Muhammad passed on, Ali was the only one with him, as they say. And the people was out politicking about who was going to lead. And Muhammad wasn't even put underground. His body, his remains. So who was really of him? They were more concerned about the world than they were concerned about his way. How many was it? You got people around here who claim to be of Muhammad's way. They claim that the companions of Muhammad were so strong. And then they want to act like all them people were companions of Muhammad because they was in the same city and followed in the same organization or was of the same clans and what have you. All companions of Muhammad. When you had 4 sects, major sects, during the time of Muhammad who couldn't agree about everything. Huh? And Muhammad was whole within himself in terms of his agreement with A.H.A.D, with Allah. So you got all kinds, you got so many different degrees of mentality, of understanding, of spirituality, of your living knowledge, And then you got degrees of relativity to Allah in terms of awareness. And for the most part, people in general always believe that they are most aware in themselves. How many times have you, just thinking for yourself, how many times have you thought you knew something and then turn and find out you didn't know it and then try to find out and then think you know it again and then go and find out you still don't know it and then you keep going on that ladder? Brother said we gotta go.
In my case, it needs to be.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?